My Atari! Turn off all the lights and bask in the glory of a 2-bit sprite. I stood in line when I was 9, bought burger time and left the world behind. And out my speakers, Hubert speaks, won't offend my peepers cause his words are bleak. My Atari's on a stand with an uneven height, so I use my Xbox just to prop it up right. My Atari still works after all these years, from when it first appeared on sale at Sears. We'll be together forever. I named it Heather and I'll never get sick of pushing the reset lever. My Atari! My Atari! Yo, what's up?
My Atari!
Driving down the street at night, now I'm bumping and jumping to a staggering height. It always brightens up my day, and just last Friday I found myself trying to kill a frog on the highway. You can't go wrong with games like Pong. When on Pitfall, the snake bit me in the arm, and I slide left and right. I'm putting up a fight with shields dwindling and space invaders in my sight. And now I'm just sitting here catching some bombs. I can play while on the toilet cause my phone is the ROMs. My Atari! My Atari! Now, me and my Atari play the illest games. I like to duck and jump over dragon flames. We slay all dragons, red, yellow, and green. And the bat carries corpses from screen to screen. Out of space and underground when I play my game. I shoot everything, it all looks the same. I'm set on expert every game I play. Even Strawberry Shortcake has me playing all day. My Atari! My Atari! Now the games that I possess have quite a range. Myself, I've got 400 games. I play Taz a lot, chilling each his field. And then Kool-Aid Man when it's time to get ill. Donkey Kong, man, I got the high score before Mario dumped Pauline for that score. My Atari didn't always bring good games. Pac-Man was lame, Custer's Revenge was insane. And I hope the Reese's cause an allergy for E.T., cause that's the game that brought down the whole industry. At a party that I threw for all the boys, we played asteroids till we could hemorrhoids. My Atari lets me play with the stick in my lap, with a couple teeth marks cause I needed a snap. Whether in a space battle or rustling cattle, you won't see me without my joystick or paddle. My Atari!
Has anybody seen this man? He is missing from the show. Hey, everybody, welcome to the Atari Network podcast, hosted by myself, 7800 Pro Gamer, and usually Vinny Vineyard of Big and Funky Productions and Atari 7800 Forever. But he's not here today. He is he's under the weather. He's not feeling very great. So he decided to take this one off, which really probably isn't good for the show because, you know, a one-man podcast is never great. You know, a lot of the show is us bouncing stuff off one another. So for it to just be me with no Vinny, well, that's like, you know, peanut butter and no jelly or something along those lines. Probably won't work, but we're going to try it anyway. Again, Vinny is under the weather. Hope he gets well soon. He has laryngitis or something. So, you know, please give him your well wishes. Hey, Pierre, good to see you. I'll pass the hello on to Vinny. Hey, Celeste, is he pooping the bed? He's a known bed pooper. He does that in his for fun is what I've heard. But yeah, hopefully Vinny gets well soon. But we have some things to talk about. Again, it might be a short one. And it's probably for the best, I guess, because Vinny is being a bit of a baby. I mean, feel better, Vinny. I really do hope you feel better. But yeah, it's gonna be a downer of a show because, as we all know, Vinny brings the energy. I tend to lean on Vinny quite a bit, and I also tend to lean, like, if I'm not with Vinny, I lean on gameplay and stuff like that. So no Vinny means no energy. It's going to be a very relaxed show. But we do have a couple things to go over. We'll start the topics here. Excuse me. Take a little sip. So we have a couple things to go over here, and I think the biggest news that everybody is probably already aware of, but we have to talk about it. This thing right here, the Atari 400 Mini has released. I guess I should hold it with this hand. Has released. It's on the market. People have them. Several videos out there about it. Gen X Grown Up, of course, he did tons of videos on this thing. There's the what was the other guy? Something Pixel. A lot of videos on this thing already. Lots of information. Some loser called the Atari Network put out a video. If you haven't watched that yet. So overall, I was going to bounce this off Vinny because he has not grabbed one yet. And there, you know, Vinny's. I'll bounce it off a milk carton. I wanted to see what his interest level was on this and if he picked one up or if he was even going to pick one up. Because I think, much like me, he was not and is not a Atari computer guy. Also, let me know, this mic, I think this is the first time I'm podcasting with this mic. So if it sounds like crap, let me know. I have some adjustments on it and stuff. So I played with the 400 Mini a bit, and overall I'm pretty impressed with it. I think for what it is, it sounds all right. Okay, thanks, Celeste. I think it's a pretty fun product for somebody who doesn't know the 400 or the line of computers like me. I think it's a fine product. The joystick, I've heard some people complaining about it, about how stiff it is, how they don't like it. I don't know. I liked it. But see, I think the CX40 joysticks are always stiff. I think every version of those are stiff. So I don't know. I don't know where why you want to expect that at this point, but again, you know, some people don't care for it, and I understand. And luckily, the 400 Mini works with a ton of other joysticks and controllers right out of the box. So it's been really cool. I want to do a stream with that. Maybe on Monday is what I'm leaning towards, or Sunday night, where we'll look over the games. We'll try some ROMs. Maybe have you guys suggest some ROMs and stuff we can play on there, and see what's going on with that. The other thing was that Atari had a presence at PAX East. They had a booth over there, and there was quite a bit of getting chat right now. I'm on a show. So they had a presence at PAX East, and I don't know a whole lot about what went on there, but luckily for us, there was some video coverage. So I figured we could watch the videos. There's a short video of somebody that walked the floor. I forget who that was from, and then there's the IGN coverage. So I figured we could watch that and see what Atari had to show. I kind of do, I looked into it a little bit, but let's see what they presented through these news outlets and these gaming outlets and stuff.
Much more. If you know anything about me, you know I love retro games. I'm an old man. I love old things. I am here at the Atari booth.
This
right now.
was from
Check out some
IGN.
on these old games. Let's check it out.
This guy apparently says he's an old man and he loves Atari. It looks like they were playing some what was that, Secret Quest.
United States Air Force.
United States Air Force,
All right, Dave, tell
absolutely.
me, what am I looking at? It looks small.
So again, they showed off the 400 mini there. That was expected. That was their big announcement.
Replica of the Atari 400. It plays all games from the ST family, so the 400 to the 800. Atari was one of the early companies involved in the home computer era, and this is sort of a celebration of that. It comes with close to about 24 games. It's a cool
So yeah,
variety
as
of games,
expected,
and
they showed off the 400 mini, as that's obviously brand new. It just came out at the end of March here, so we were kind of expecting that.
Really quickly to a modern TV with HDMI, and you're off and running. They designed a version of the joystick, which
They
is
probably had it
based on the
playable
original.
at the
Feels
booth
like
and
the
what
original,
have you.
sounds like the original, but they snuck in all these buttons. So there's actually 7 buttons. 3
That's
4
the
on
big thing
ring,
about the
there's one on
controller
the
that
bottom.
I wasn't aware of. I was
So
kind
there's
of
a little
shocked
bit of
about when I
HDMI
held it in my hand
functionality
and started messing with it. Is I couldn't figure out how. I mean, that this is legit. Like, I couldn't choose my language because the controller, it said hit top, and I thought, okay, well, I'll hit the top button. I thought it just meant there's only one button on a CX40, so I hit the top button on the very top that I knew about, and it did nothing. I hit the bumper, it did nothing. So again, I hit the it took me a while to figure out that the ring was actually a button here.
Beyond that, it feels great. It's got the membrane keyboard. Obviously, it's non-functional, but yeah,
Membrane
it feels
keyboard.
and looks like the
Yeah, the
original.
keyboard does not
March
work on
28th
that.
is when it starts shipping, which is right.
Very soon, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, David, could you tell us a little bit about Atari 50?
Atari 50 is an amazing collection that was pulled together by.
So here was
Studio
some. I think they
Visual
announced some new games on the
Real
Atari
fans of the
50th.
brands. They've developed Atari games for years, their whole career. So when we had an opportunity to do sort of a retrospective of the games and the company, they were the perfect partner to do it.
Could you explain a little bit about what makes these classic games different, how they're remixed, honoring their past and brought into this modern era?
So what are they going to
Kind of
announce? What
approach it
games?
in a mix, right? So Atari 50 is a classic collection where it's the original games emulated and
I mean,
finessed
Atari
just
50th
enough
is
to
really
get them on
cool.
the modern hardware, but really no changes to them. And where we're adding value is the storytelling and the depth and the interviews. We're going to be dropping some DLC for it later this year with some additional gems that didn't make.
Can you give us some details of?
So they're just
I
showing
have
off
print
like the
one
standard
bill.
Atari 50th.
I can't tell you too much about it. It's so much so that I blocked it out of my mind, so I couldn't answer the question in case I got.
That is a pro move right there.
That's weird. So they just showed off the Atari 50. Like, the Atari 50th is a great thing. Don't get me wrong. I really like it. It's fantastic. A great collection, a great idea. but they were just showing it off. That's a couple years old. That seems like a weird thing to show off at the PAX booth.
All right, I am here with Jason. Jason, you are a producer on Lunar Lander Beyond. Would you please tell us a little bit about Lunar Lander Beyond and maybe a little bit of the history of what the game is?
Lunar Lander is a classic Atari arcade game, and it is notorious for being incredibly difficult. You are running out of fuel.
Yeah, Lunar Lander was very difficult.
And it is so unforgiving. If you don't land perfectly right on track, then you will explode and die. This is not like that in the sense that we keep things a little bit more straightforward for players. They added a stabilizer, which is the first pickup you get in the game. So if you feel like you're flying off course, hit the stabilizer button. It's going to slow you down, stabilize yourself, get you back on course. So one of the most important things, right? They added the stress system. So as you fly poorly, your stress will rise.
Okay.
And if your stress gets too high, you will start to hallucinate in the game and see stuff that may or may not be there. So that could mean that a mine could actually look like a pickup that you want at a key moment. You'll also see these pink elephants that'll stalk you when you're at the insanity level.
Hey, Fen, not much. There ain't much going on. Vinny wasn't feeling well. He didn't show up to the show, so we're not really going to do much today. I was seeing what they had at PAX East here, and not much, really. Biggest thing right now is Lunar Lander, and I don't know how I feel about this.
Devious.
Oh, one more thing I mentioned. In the insanity difficulty, that basically turns the game into a roguelike of sorts, with permadeath on your pilots. So if you lose your roster of pilots, it's game over. You got to start over. I would never recommend somebody jump into insanity as a first playthrough. I would use the others as more of like a practice run.
All right, what are we looking at?
So, okay, Lunar Lander Beyond. The big mechanic is what? The insanity meter, or what he was just talking about. I don't know. I mean, I guess they had to add something. Obviously, you can't just have Lunar Lander and re-release it. But I don't know. You think it looks good, Crypto? I'd like it. Like, don't get me wrong, I like it. I just don't know about that being like I don't know. It'll be interesting. I think that's a make or break kind of thing, I guess. But they obviously had to add something. I'm also the art style. I think it looks really good, but the anime type characters, I don't know about that stuff. I don't know. It don't feel very Atari to me.
Right here behind me.
So this is Quamp 2. It's actually a sequel to Pong, which was the first commercially successful video game that really launched the industry. And it's a really simple,
Pong.
Difficult game. Basically, imagine if the ball was tired of getting hit back and forth between two panels. It escapes, and this is its journey.
So the balls have risen up.
Yeah, it's done.
This game is fantastic.
It's a really simple two-button game, but it's devilishly complex. Like most Atari games, it's easy to pick up but hard to master. Studio out of St. Louis.
He said the thing.
Labs, they're amazing at this kind of puzzle platformer, and people seem to really be captivated by this idea that 50 years later we did a sequel to Pong.
You say it's fiendishly clever. Could you explain that? Because I think when people think of Pong, they think of literally the simplest possible gameplay, and I don't think anybody wants that in 2024. 1974, yeah, that was pretty rad. But what makes this different? What's the hook on this one?
1974, there's nothing like it. But let's let him finish.
Well, it's still, the mechanics are simple, right? You're still basically changing direction. We've added the ability to speed up. That was a huge innovation, a second button.
That's a 100% increase in buttons from the original.
100% increase. But you have to think ahead, and the ball, you can't stop. So you're in constant motion.
Did he just call it the bong? Hold on.
100% increase in buttons from the original.
100% increase. But you have to think ahead, and the ball, you can't stop. So you're in constant motion, so you're always
can't stop the
ahead,
bong.
trying to figure out how to get past these traps. You keep getting introduced to new types of obstacles. And Graphite makes games that get tough. So the boss battles, you'll do a run of like 8 levels where you learn how to get past different obstacles. And then you'll play a boss battle where it's going to throw all of them at you at once. And it's fun. It's a lot of fun. It gets you sweating.
And this is out right now? Can people play this?
This is out right now on PC.
Yeah, it's
and
been
all
out for a
consoles.
while.
It's very playable. It's been out for a couple of months.
Yeah, a couple of months. Yeah, exactly. The bong. That's something I would have said. That's definitely a flub. I think that's all they really showed here. I thought they had more. They might not have showed the food or the sprint, Neo Sprint stuff. but very weird. I don't know. Like I wonder how much they had to pay for the space on the floor and stuff. Because Quamp 2, if you haven't played it, play that. That's a fantastic game. I love it. We reviewed it here on the channel. I think it's an awesome game. But it's been out for a long time. That's kind of a weird thing to show off, in my opinion. The lunar lander stuff is cool. The stress mechanic, I don't know. Again, I wish Vinny was here to bounce the stuff off of and see how he felt about it. Let's see. Hey, Vinny, how do you feel about the stress mechanic? Oh, I think it's very funky. It's a funky mechanic. I'm big and funky. Thanks, Vinny. So yeah, I don't know. The the lunar lander, it looks good, but again, I don't know. The whole anime character thing, not my bag. It doesn't feel very Atari to me. I got one other video I pulled from the internet of somebody just walking the Atari booth. You can kind of see if they saw anything different. But like Fens said already, I'll make sure I say Fens because I called him Fen before. That was my bad. But like Fens the Spook said before, I don't know. I was kind of hoping for a little more here. Let's see if I can. So this was somebody just walking the floor. I don't really think we need their audio. So they had the 2600 plus, obviously. Again, it's been out for a while, but it's good to get that product out there. That's a real good seller for them, and I'm sure there's a lot of people that need to know about it. There's Lunar Lander, the intro. Again, if they didn't go, I love the 2D stuff. It looks gorgeous when you play. At least it looks pretty good to me anyway, but the whole anime character thing is probably my one hang-up. Llamasoft. Oh, the Jeff Minter story. That's right. Why don't we get this stuff on the VCS? That's something that I would love to play. And then the 50th, which feels really weird to be at the show. Digital Eclipse, one of their companies that they purchased. And Quamp 2, yep, another one. So I'm not seeing anything. You think did they show their XP line at all? That'd be my one question. Neo Sprint. So we knew they showed Neo Sprint, which is a lot of fun. I'm glad the wider public will get a chance to play that. Here's their clothing line and stuff. And then here's... What is it? That's just like their merch and stuff, right? Wow. I don't know. Kind of underwhelming for sure. What do you think, Vinny? Yeah, I agree. There isn't much to say about it. Yeah, Fens the Spook. I literally want to throw money at the company, yet it feels like they won't produce enough products, or they produce it in such limited quantities. They produced a lot lately, if I'm honest. Like, I think they've put out quite a bit in the overall scheme of things, but I don't think they put out enough for the booth and stuff. Because, they had, if you think about it in terms of the quarters and stuff, they had the Game Station Pro deal, which obviously was through My Arcade. That was their big thing in the fall, along with the other micro arcade player, mini arcade player. They had the handheld player, all that stuff. And then they had the 2600 plus was their big winner item. Yeah, I guess they're lacking in cartridges and games a little bit. You could say that. But it takes them so long to get the stuff out. Like, I ordered Save Mary on cartridge months ago, and I still don't have it. So, right. I kind of picked up that Fens that you meant more of the lower price stuff like Mr. Run and Jump, more cartridges, toys, collect. Yeah, I agree with you there because I've been looking for more stuff to get, but they're also not shipping the stuff that you get quick enough. That's the other issue. Like I'm waiting on cartridges that I paid for it back in probably like September of last year, or maybe not that late, but months and months ago, and they just don't come out that quickly. So I don't know. They might. I think Atari's a lot. They're doing a lot of great things, a lot of great acquisitions, but maybe when it comes to the actual physical products, they're lacking on stuff to put out right now and the ability to get it out, I guess. So that was their PAX booth. I was underwhelmed, but I'm an Atari fan, so I'm jaded. Everything they do isn't good enough, and they don't do enough. But I'm glad to have them. So again, if you popped in and you're wondering, where's Vinny? Where's the man that brings the energy? He is under the weather right now. He has laryngitis. He was falling over. He was sick, and he couldn't make it on the show. So we wish him well. We hope he gets better. This ain't going to be very long. Like I said, I usually lean on him. I lean on the gameplay for like Man vs 7800 and stuff. Me just talking to you guys, I don't think there's much interest in that unless I'm showing pretty pictures on the screen or talking about something relevant. I mean, I could ramble for a long time, but I don't think anybody really wants that too much. Beyond that, we have a couple releases on the VCS we can talk about. Bentley Bear's Crystal Quest has finally come out on the Atari VCS. It was out for a very short period of time. You had like a few hours, I think, about a month ago to pick it up. And even if you did, I think it disappeared from people's VCSs and stuff. But now it's back on the store. It's got better art. Vinny was bragging to me the other day that he has a control method that he fixed. He set up a really cool way to play it on his VCS controller. Fens, he grabbed some box 2600 stuff today. I'll post pics in the Discord. Yeah, show them off. I love to see that kind of stuff. That's, I think, the coolest thing about Atari is getting the box stuff. I tend to lean towards complete and box stuff, so I always love seeing it. Absolutely. But yeah, the Bentley Bear's Crystal Quest finally hit the VCS again. Very cool to have it back out. It's cool to have it available to the wider community because it's such a great 7800 homebrew. But it's $8.99 available right now. Of course, we have Lunar Lander hitting the Atari VCS. I think that was announced on the last show. Other than that, a lot of the show is me and Vinny bouncing stuff off each other and playing with each other. Since he's not here, there ain't much of a show, I don't think, right now. So if you decided not to tune into this episode, you probably picked a good one to skip out on. Other than that, I don't think we had much else to talk about. Again, we went over the PAX booth, wasn't much there. Talked about the 400 Mini, which we're going to do some exclusive live streams playing that too. If you're interested in the 400 Mini, we're going to do a live stream where we plug that in. We'll stream it to you guys, and we'll kind of take suggestions of what you want to download and see ran on the system. So if there's any games you're like, man, does that work on the 400 Mini? But you don't want to spend the money to find out, come join the stream. It'll be either Sunday night or Monday night, and we'll find out together. Give me your suggestions. We'll download them. We'll play some games. It'll be a lot of fun, a lot more fun than me rambling into the mic right now. So other than that, I think that'll be our makeup show because, again, there isn't much to really do right now or talk about. And I don't want to hold you guys hostage, the few of you that popped in here just to hear me ramble. I do appreciate y'all coming in, seeing what the heck is going on. Make sure that you stop over to Vinny's channel. He has two Big and Funky Productions, is the one I think most people know. He also has the Atari 7800 Forever YouTube channel and the Atari 7800forever.com. Make sure you go over to one of those, wish him well, tell him you hope he feels better, watch some of his stuff. Other than that, you're already watching the stuff on this channel, so I ain't gonna tell you to subscribe or none of that. If you want to leave a like, great. If not, it probably ain't a good podcast for people that jump in and watch for the first time anyway, or a good episode to watch. So I think that's it, really, guys. I don't think there's much else to really cover without a co-host here. So I think we're going to go ahead, wrap it up, call it early, a nice, concise 30-minute podcast. That way you guys can go ahead and go check out Zero Page Homebrew, because we know that's the show everybody really wants to watch here. So go ahead and check that one out. I appreciate all the support, guys. Thank you for the support on the Discords, on the channel, on the videos, all the comments, likes, all the love. It's very much appreciated. Have a good night, and remember, everybody, to stay classy, Atarians. And we'll see you, hopefully, on the 400 mini live stream.